Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Locked On Flames. I'm your host, Jess Belmosto, and today's episode is a bit of a bummer as 6 players have entered COVID protocol along with one coaching staff, and we will be breaking down the Bruins game. That was truly a bummer. So let's get things started here.
You're Locked On Flames, your daily podcast on the Calgary Flames. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new week. We are inching closer and closer to Christmas, and I hope that you're all staying healthy and well as winter rolls around. Unfortunately, the Flames have come down with the COVID bug. I don't know. I was going to try to call it something fun, but it's very difficult to call it that. But okay, so this morning, the NHL announced that the Flames games would be postponed through December 16th. And that means they are not traveling to Chicago or Nashville. And that is because of positive COVID tests. Yesterday, they were supposed to travel to Chicago, but obviously tests came back positive, and you can't travel with a depleted team, and you don't have the cap space to recall enough players. So things are just on pause through Thursday. Elias Lindholm, Andrew Mangiapane, Brad Richardson, Adam Ruzicka, Chris Tanev, and Nikita Zadorov have all entered COVID protocol, and additionally a member of the training staff. So that is not very good. We have talked about how lucky this team has been in terms of COVID. They were very fortunate last year to be the last team to have a player enter COVID protocol. It was Josh Levo, and it was right at the end of the season. So the team almost escaped, but unfortunately did not. And this year, it appears that obviously they're not escaping either. So as of right now, we don't really know what this means. Games are postponed, and like I said, they don't really have enough cap space, or they don't have enough cap space to recall players and then have them travel with the team. And things are very different for them because they are in Canada, and I don't know what this will mean for when, those players do come back, because I'm pretty sure like you have to be negative for like 10 days before you can cross the border or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. And Brett Ritchie is still injured, and they won't move him to the LTIR. And even if they did, it wouldn't alleviate enough cap space for the team to move forward. Ryan Pike had posted the ending isolation protocol. So it says player or club personnel whose test has been confirmed positive shall remain in isolation until all of the following have been satisfied. If at least 10 days have passed since symptoms first appeared, and at least 24 hours since the last fever without using fever-reducing medications and symptoms have improved, with the exception of continued taste or loss of taste and sense of smell. In addition, the club physician, its infectious disease expert, and any other treating physician providing care to the individual must conclude that they're no longer a risk, and the termination of isolation requirement is consistent with applicable local public health regulations. And then the thread continues. Let's see. My understanding is initial positives would have been yesterday, and then today's tests confirmed. So if everyone remains asymptomatic, the earliest they could exit protocol would be 9 days from now. If symptoms emerge, that would obviously push the timeline back for those who are impacted. General flow of protocol is an initial positive test. It's followed by a second and third confirmatory test to make sure the initial one wasn't just a false positive. NHL rules specify confirmatory. I don't know why I'm like struggling to say that word so much. Confirmatory tests would have to be at least 24 hours apart, but sometimes they happen more rapidly. I am very uh, mm, I don't know. I feel bad. Like, that's a long time because, like, if you develop symptoms, I mean, it's better than the 2 or 3 weeks it used to be. So, I mean, at least it's only 9 days if symptoms arrive or if they remain asymptomatic. I hope that they all stay asymptomatic and there's no more positive tests from anyone else on the team. I'm thinking of them and their families. This has to be so frustrating, especially with Christmas literally right around the corner. And I'm sure that many of them are going home for Christmas or are hosting family. And, last thing you want to do is be that person who has COVID. But, obviously sending well wishes to everyone, that's got to be annoying and a little scary, especially if you do show severe symptoms. So, once again, just thinking of these guys and their families, and hopefully, they get back on the ice soon. But coming up next, we are going to break down. This is just a negative episode. Negative episode here, discussing the Bruins' fourth straight loss and against the Boston Bruins. So before we do that, though, let's talk about DirecTV. DirecTV has the best option for you right now to get all of your sports and everything you watch all in one place, so you don't have to have multiple devices. You're not worrying about the login. You're not worrying about remembering passwords and having to contact your ex to see if they changed the password so you can still get into your account. And it's called DirecTV Stream. And it brings your live TV and on demand favorites together like never before. So you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. That means no more juggling remotes, no need to buy another device, and there's no annual contract. So get rid of the clutter, confusion, and get yourself together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package. Locked On Flames continues. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Jess Belmosto. So we're just continuing with the negativity. Normally, I don't like being super negative, but the only positive are the tests coming back. That was a really bad joke. I'm sorry. But the Flames have lost 4 straight. This is the first time they've dropped 4 in a row this season. It did happen twice last year, which is kind of surprising considering how bad they were. And that's just a whole other can of worms. And then, let's dig into that for a second. There were, minimal roster shakeups last year. And or from last season to this season, and this team is playing tremendous compared to that and in comparison. So, and I think that, we talked about it when Salem was on the show, but they were out of shape, and Daryl Sutter let it be known that conditioning was a problem. So, I think that there has been a difference there as well, because the team does not look as sluggish, as slow, and I really enjoy watching that because it just was bad. It was real bad. And I feel gross talking about this while a chunk of the team is in protocol, because it feels bad because, maybe they felt bad Saturday night, and I don't want to speculate or anything, but you kind of have to put 2 and 2 together, and it doesn't take a genius to do that. So the Bruins game really had me scratching my head because I literally said last week, I'm almost positive I said it on Friday, that it's never the goaltending. It's, like, never their fault. You don't look to them after a loss. But Markstrom had a very, very difficult time tracking the puck, and I don't even know where to begin, honestly. He let in that first goal was a complete softie, and I don't understand what was going on with him. I don't know if he was distracted. I don't know. Maybe he didn't feel well. Because the Bruins weren't really firing off these crazy shots, and they were still scoring like every time they entered the zone, and it was very frustrating to watch. I mean, as a Flames reporter, yes, but as a Bruins fan, not so much. Um, with Jacob Markstrom, you do have to think about how he didn't play against the Bruins when they played last month in Boston. It was Vladar, and Vladar knows the Bruins playbook better than anyone on the Flames. So, could it have been that? Maybe. Could it have just been an off night? Maybe. Again, I don't think it's anything to read too much into just because it's a game. It's one game. And especially with what's unfolded afterwards, even though Markstrom was not named in the list, people just have bad days. You ever go to like Dunkin' Donuts? Oh no, you guys don't. Do you guys have Dunkin' up there? Okay, no, you ever go to Tim Hortons and the person behind the register, like you can tell that something's wrong. Maybe that's what Marky was going through. Just having a rough day. I mean, I don't know. This time of year is hard for a lot of people. But maybe I'm just, reading too much into things, or maybe he just had a crap day at the office, I've had plenty of those. But it is very unlike him, and I haven't really seen a performance like that since last year, and it's just really hard to watch. The Flames once again ran into a very hot goaltender, Linus Ullmark, with 40 saves. He had 40 saves between the Oilers game and the Flames game. Wow. Things, were too far gone by the time the second goal was scored for Calgary. The Flames didn't like they weren't playing a bad game. They were not scoring and or creating like generating chances for them to score, and things got a little chirpy in the middle of the game. Like Luch ended up like cross-checking I think it was Eric Holla, and I was just like, "What are you doing?" And this was because I think it might have been Shillington or Hannafin had like knocked over DeBrusque, and it was just like pig piling, and it was bad. It did not look good. Did not. It was just weird. And then like Bergie like shoved Andrew Mangiapane, and I was like, whoa, 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 you two, no, 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 no. You guys are supposed to be friends. You're two of the best defensive forwards in the league. Please settle down, children. And I think that the Flames just kind of got lost in the shuffle of things because, Money Puck had them winning or had them leading the deserve to win meter. And I know that's not like a fair, assessment, but they do calculate metrics and formulas that are just too big brained for me. But it was like they passed the eye test by every means. I think that there definitely were times where I was like, "Oh, please don't ever do that again," when it came to them playing in front of their own net or playing in front of the Bruins net, and one of the more frustrating aspects was watching Sean Monahan. I believe he scored that second goal, and it was just kind of like where was this? Like, maybe 10, 15 minutes ago? But that only and I just kept if you follow me on Twitter, I just kept saying, Flames could take Jake DeBrusque and Sean Monahan can go back to Boston. I always did call him a poor man's Krejci for a reason. Makes you think. But in all seriousness, I think that, that goal is good for Sean Monahan. It's going to take, a little chip off his shoulder. I almost said dirt, but chip off your shoulder. And I'm very happy to see them shooting the puck. Like that's like the biggest takeaway I have from the game is them shooting the puck because last season they were not shooting. And to have the confidence that they're having with the shooting is fine. I think it's great. But another thing was uh, Matthew Tkachuk getting demoted to the second line, and I believe it was Mangiapane getting the boost. It was either Mangiapane or Blake Coleman to the top line in rotation there. But I don't think that Kachuk like deserved that. I don't know if he was like just trying, if Sutter was trying to get the second line going or what. But unfortunately, that did not work. But things are always, always gonna try new things because sometimes you just need to shake things up, and hopefully the team is able to practice this week and they're able to try some new things out because why not? I just I don't know. I don't really know how the Flames can improve right now because one, I'm not a coach, and two, I don't have access to the same film and breakdowns that they do, but I feel like they passed the eye test in just about every category. And, you know, 42 shots on net is pretty decent for a 60-minute game. So, we'll have to keep an eye out on how the rest of the breakdowns and just kind of keep an eye out on things. It's so frustrating. And we're going to talk more about this next segment to wrap up the show. But let's talk about Built Bar. Built Bar is a perfect way to curb your hunger this holiday season. If you are like me in any capacity and your family tells you, oh, we don't need to eat breakfast, save your appetite for the big meal, you're going to want to stash a Built Bar somewhere on you, somewhere, because Built Bars are perfect for holding you over to get you through to the next meal, and they are high in protein, high in fiber, low in sugar, low in calories. I have a rat tail if you're watching on YouTube. Hello. But yes, so head on over to built.com today to not download, to pick out your perfect Built Bar flavor at built.com and use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off of your order to satisfy your hunger before you reach hangry level status. BetOnline is the perfect place to go and place your sports bets. You can check out their new website or freshly redesigned website on your mobile device or your desktop and use promo code locked on for that 50% welcome bonus. And that's promo code locked on for a 50% welcome bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit at BetOnline AG. And they have everything you need when it comes to tonight's games or games in the future. They have live updates, bets, props, lines, and even your favorite Vegas casino games. So head on over to BetOnline AG today and use promo code LOCKED ON when you make your first deposit. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Locked On Flames. Please make sure to follow the show wherever you get your podcasts and especially on YouTube. Um, we did talk about how frustrating this team is to watch. And again, I hate to speculate. I don't want to do it, but I think it's important to kind of put things into perspective because the Bruins were in town on Saturday, and the tests came back Sunday. I'm going to say that some of the team did not feel well on Saturday. Even if, like, you're asymptomatic, I'm sure you feel, like, a little run down. I mean, I don't know. But I'm not a doctor, and I don't really know. I never had the virus, so, I don't know. But asymptomatic means asymptomatic, so maybe they don't feel anything. something about the power play and really, like, special teams as a whole felt really off Saturday night. I don't know if it was just, like, a communication thing, if it was, just the nature of the Bruins special teams as well, but could some of the players have been feeling a little funky and a little under the weather? Lindholm did I kept saying this to my boyfriend when we were watching the game. I was like, "Lindholm does not look like himself. I feel like he should have scored, like, 2 or 3 goals, and he didn't, and he was almost always in front of the net, and I just didn't see anything from him." And he's on the COVID list now, but I'm wondering if he just was feeling kinda gross, if his body was, getting sick, but again, the Bruins blue line should not have been the ones scoring on the Flames. And I get it, like, you can't control who's scoring, but at the same time, your defense should be reading your opponents a little bit better, especially when it's the defense that has the puck. And, Charlie McAvoy, I believe Charlie McAvoy scored, but he he's a tough one to follow, and he's really good at moving the puck. So, I can't really fault them for that, but it's just kind of like, you really just, like, let Matt Grizzly score on you? You just let Matt Grizzly score on you? And, uh, I felt kinda bad for the Flames because they didn't deserve to lose that game. They don't deserve to lose at all, in my humble opinion. But something about that game was quite humbling because, the Bruins have like, they're a good team, but they're not as competitive as they used to be, so it should have been, a more evenly matched game. Like, the Bruins shouldn't have scored 4, and the Flames shouldn't have been scoring only 2 goals. So, we're gonna have to see what unfold over these next few days, especially with more positive tests or more negative tests. And I'm sure the league is not excited to cancel games, but I just I don't know, you guys. This is weird because I've never had to cover a team that's, had to go into protocol, so I don't know what lies ahead by any means, and I'm cautiously optimistic that things will be okay by the weekend, and if not, then they're gonna have to get creative. I don't know how, but they're gonna have to get creative. So that's all I have for you today here at Locked On Flames. Please make sure you are following me on Twitter at Jess Belmosto. And of course, subscribe on YouTube, like the YouTube videos, and comment. If you made it this far, leave some like flame emojis or something. And be sure to subscribe to this podcast right now on your favorite podcast platform. And we will be back tomorrow with hopefully some more positive updates. I hope. I'll see you guys tomorrow.